Hi, welcome to Just a Thought, where I talk about various issues in entertainment globally, around the world, whatnot. But today I'm going to be talking about the bullying scandals in South Korea. Now, if you're not really a fan of K-pop or K-entertainment in general, and you don't really know about what's going on right now, I'll give you like a brief summary. I'm not going to say any specific names because there's been a slew of accusations happening lately. So, for the past like maybe a year and a half, even I want to say year and a half, there's been bullying scandals lately, and it's at an alarming rate where multiple idols and actors are being accused. They're either being accused of bullying each other or they're being accused of bullying people in high school, and a lot of victims are coming forward. Supposed victims, I would say, are coming forward. And my 2 cents about this whole situation is this is going to sound maybe cold or rude, but this is honestly just facts at the end of the day. You legit, most of the time, have no proof whether someone has been bullied or not. Unless it's like on social media, there's pictures, there's text messages, voice recording cameras. If you don't have any of that, it's going to be very hard to prove that you were bullied. And it's going to be hard to prove whether the person was even a bully in the first place. Not to say that these actors and idols could have as well bullied people during school or bullied each other in groups and whatnot. But it gets difficult because without proof, without actually proof, it's hard to decipher who's telling the truth and who's actually the bully. Because there's been cases around the world where the bullies have switched place, not really switched place, but one of them is saying that they were bullied when they were actually the bully themselves. So there's a lot of different cases. So it's really hard to tell who's the one actually like, being bullied. And the issue with school bullying, more like to be specific, because that's the ones that are actually happening right now in South Korea more often than others. Phones and technology weren't like how they were back in the day, even now, even spanning 10 years ago. We didn't have things like that, like where people were posting, and the culture of social media was a little different. I mean, people were exposing people on social media about cheating and whatnot, but but social media wasn't what it was back then. Like, nobody was really online, like, exposing bullies online. Like, nobody was really doing that 10 years ago. Like, that just wasn't happening. And, like, I'm gonna say even a little, like 10 years, I'm gonna say like 13. I'm actually not even 10 years, I'm gonna say 13 years ago, like that time span. Nobody was on social media exposing bullies online. Like, there was the usual, you know, when people were catching predators online and things like that. But there wasn't like specifically cyberbullying. Like, because people used to think that cyberbullying wasn't a thing. Like, people really used to think that. Imagine it. Only 13 years ago, people really used to think that cyberbullying wasn't actually a thing. So that's why it gets difficult, because unless there's been recording, unless there's been a recording of actual bullying, or there's like how you don't really know if someone actually been bullied or not, which is bad, because if the person really is telling the truth, now they have no proof to accuse the person, and it's kind of a their word against mine. Like, it's a he said she said situation where you don't really know. And then you have people who will, like, in situations like this, you'll have people who come out and said, "Oh no, I was friends with this person in school. They weren't bullies." But then that's an issue too, because that can easily be just friends supporting their friend. Like, that's all it could be honest. But here's another issue at hand. How many of you seen this in school where you know how you can be the nicest person to your friends, but to everybody else in the school it's kind of free game where you just talk about everybody in the school, or you just mean everybody in school? Like, there's been a lot of people that I've seen personally do that in high school. Like, they're nice to their friends, but when it comes to everyone else, they're kind of mean. But then if you ask their friends, are they a bully? They're of course going to say no, they're nice to me, but are they nice to everybody else in the school? And people seem to have selective memory when it comes to bullying in high school. That's why it's difficult. And with these situations in South Korea happening, like, and whether we don't even know if they're true or not, and people like netizens and Korean netizens, like international netizens and netizens in general, want some type of proof. Like, where's the proof? Like, how do we know this person's telling the truth? You're not, to be honest, you're not going to know unless they have photos, voice memos, online, bullying, cyberbullying, you're not going to know whether this person was a bully or not. And it's sad to say, but it's going to just come down to you have to hope they either been bullied or not been bullied. Like, you can't, like, decipher who's telling the truth unless you have proof. Like, obviously, people usually choose the one who has the most biggest image or the cleanest image, because obviously the victims of these people, like the victims that are given these accusations, we don't know them personally, we don't know their life the same way we don't know about celebrities' lives. We don't know if this is all an act they're putting on for us. Like, we don't know. You kind of have to, like, to be honest, I just keep it all at face value. Like, I don't believe anyone's, like, you know how people always ask the question, are people inherently bad or good? I happen to believe that people are inherently bad, which, I mean, it is what it is about that. Like, it is what it is. But some people believe that people are inherently good or bad. And there's pros and cons in believing either one of them. But that's just, I happen to believe in. So when people introduce themselves to me with a nice image, I most of the time don't believe them. So this could just be my pessimistic attitude about people in general. That's what I just generally choose to believe. But because of this, I don't really put people on high pedestals. The pros of that is I don't put people on high pedestals. I don't think they're just overly good people or bad people. It's almost like, okay, if you show me, like, if you can, like, I'm not gonna take you too seriously. It's kind of like that. Like that that's what I think. Like, when it comes to people like that. But people in the comments that are begging for evidence, I hate to say, you're not gonna find no evidence. You're not gonna find any evidence. Like, I hate to break this to y'all. People who want evidence, people who want case records, people who want to be judges, you're not gonna find no evidence. I'm sorry, but so I don't know what to tell y'all. You either believe the victim or believe the idol, but don't be hypocritical and say things in the comments like, you know, the idols, or, you know, like, the victim's supposed to be lying, or vice versa. The victim's supposed to be telling the truth, or the idols are lying. Like, I honestly, like, you just have to be honest, just look at them as singers. This may seem bad advice. This may seem like terrible advice to you, but what else can you really do? You either support them or you don't support them. You either believe them or you don't believe them. There's really nothing else you can do, which is the sad case about it. Unless, like, if there's no proof, there's no concrete proof. Like, what are you supposed to do at the end of the day? This seems like a bad kind of mindset to have, but what can you actually do? You can't do anything. Like, that's just the truth. But that's all I have to say about the situation for now. Like, subscribe. Have a nice day.